Now, guys, the Police Federation has sacked the Met chair after he voiced concerns that police officers were hesitant to apply the law to ethnic minority groups in London. So this GB News reports reads, Police Federation sacks suspended Met chair after GB News interview about officers' racism fears. The head of the Metropolitan Police Federation has been removed from his position after he told GB News about his concerns for policing. Rick Pryor, the elected representative of officers in London, was suspended as chairman in October after he told the People's Channel that officers were hesitating before engaging with ethnic minority Londoners. The comments were deemed discriminatory in nature and controversial by the Federation. Pryor told GB News that fears over vexatious investigations by the IOPC meant the police officers had withdrawn from applying the law fairly to all backgrounds. And what exceptional bravery from PC Rick Pryor. Seriously exceptional bravery. And what I don't understand about this is that when you watch his interview, when I watched it anyways with GB News, the one that got him sacked, I did not detect any discrimination. I'm a black person. I didn't detect any malicious prejudice. I didn't detect any animus towards us. I didn't detect anything nasty from this gentleman. He seems like a very respectful individual that has just genuine and sincere concerns for the way in which police enforcement is applied across all groups. Let's take a listen to that interview now.
And the behaviour of certain individuals, it clearly falls below that of which society expects. I think it's incumbent on police leaders to support their officers who are charged with dealing with these type of incidents to come out and call out that behaviour. And I mean, the example of which I relate this to was the recent Croydon bus incident matter, where it was clear that the lady in question behaved poorly. It's a quite reasonable expectation of society that if you travel on transport, London transport, on the buses, the trains, you know that if you are asked to produce a valid ticket for travel, you show that ticket. Had that happened in this case, there would have been no incident. And so it was the behaviour of the lady in question that instigated the whole matter.
See, he was literally elected to be the chair in order to voice the frustrations and concerns of the people that the 30,000 people that voted him in. They wanted him there and they got rid of him. Police officers are not allowed to unionize, so this man's voice was important and they sacked him. What did they do? They got rid of him completely. Do you see how pervasive the doctrine of unconscious bias is within critical race theory? It is potent enough for Prince Harry to throw his family under the bus and just disparage the royal family globally in his book, on his Netflix series, whatever. And it's also potent enough for law enforcement to actually step back from enforcing the law. How is this going to help black communities? How is this going to help black on black crime? How is this going to help anything with the gang wars that's happening in London? How is that going to do anything to help black lives? You're not doing anyone a favour. The Police Federation, who decided to sack PC Rick Pryor, is not helping black people.
And Rick Pryor, as I said, elected in April, is speaking to explain the concerns of members. Many, I think, police officers feel this fear after those investigations. And when I spoke to some officers last night, and indeed other regional chairs of their specific federations, they told me they were shocked and saddened to hear about Rick Pryor being suspended. As I understand it, the federation is investigating him for supposedly discriminatory remarks that could affect the confidence that the public and other officers have in the federation. And he's not just been defended by police officers. I spoke to a career criminal this morning, Sicarius McGrath, who was a gun runner and extortionist in the northwest of England for over 20 years. He told me that active criminals he speaks to as part of his work to try and rehabilitate criminals are telling him that they are aware of this and they are using it to their advantage. They are putting in malicious and vexatious complaints because they know that it will force officers off the scent. One drug dealer, he told me, was specifically hiring young black boys to run drugs because they knew they'd be less inclined to be stopped.
And as this presenter said, these criminals are weaponizing these sensitivities and that hesitance that police officers have in enforcing the law to enforce their elaborate crime networks. They know these police officers are hesitant to stop and search black boys, so they will now intentionally target those black boys because they're criminals. They are relentless. They are merciless. If they can see a little weakness, a little crack, a little chink in the armor, they're going to go exactly for that. They see that police officers are hesitant to enforce the law with black men. Do you know what these criminals are going to do? You know what these crime networks are going to do? They're going to intentionally target black men and groom them into selling drugs because they know there's like a little force field around them and you can't go near the chosen one. There are grooming gangs in London. Ask any black boy. They've been approached to join a gang. It's okay, you'll make money, you'll do this, women will like you, you can buy a car, do this. Grooming, it happens in London. When you think grooming gangs, I think if you've watched too much GB News, you're probably just going to be thinking Rochdale, Telford, Rotherham. You're going to be thinking about like the classic towns that are happening towards English white girls. But what about the grooming gangs towards black boys? Yes, it's happening to English white girls, and that is very important that we address that. But it's also happening to black boys in London and in various other cities every single day. They will tell you. I literally can't step on these. I can't go to those ends. I can't go to this. I can't. I literally at certain times I just have to stay indoors. I can't, because you don't even have to be involved in the gang wars. You can just fall victim to an unprovoked attack because you're black, because you're young. Because they see you as a threat, you're a target. If you wear like streetwear and you got like the snapback and the Jordans, you'll be lucky if you can make it through some areas of London and your Jordans are still on your feet. It's the Wild Wild West out here. You know which black person needed law enforcement? Eliane Andem, the 15-year-old girl who was murdered by her ex-boyfriend over this row over a teddy bear. And in Croydon, the same town where the Croydon bus incident happened, where this police officer was afraid, where this police officer was penalised for enforcing the law to a black individual that PC Pryor touched on in his GB News interview. This happened. This BBC report reads, 15-year-old Eliane Andem met up with her friends in the South London suburb of Croydon before school so that one of the girls could get back her teddy bear from a boy with whom she had broken up. Just over an hour later, Eliane was dead after that same boy, Hassan Santamu, had repeatedly stabbed her with a kitchen knife. She needed that law enforcement. What would you do if you knew that there was a police officer that was hesitant to stop and search her ex-boyfriend, ahead of the attack on the bus in Croydon? What would you do? What would you think in your mind? You said we need to do everything to support PC Rick Pryor right now. And also note that it was a kitchen knife. Aksa Rudakabana, the Southport stabber, he also used a kitchen knife as well. So when all these other celebrities like Idris Elba come out saying we need to ban zombie knives in order to combat rising crime and rising knife crime rates, just know that it's pathetic. Just know that it is completely missing. It's completely putting a plaster, not even a plaster. It's like putting a plaster on a little cut on your shin. But there's a gaping wound on your arm. Loads of these perpetrators are using kitchen knives. Aksa Rudakabana, kitchen knife. Eliane Andem's ex-boyfriend, kitchen knife. What is Idris Elba banging on about? We need to remove zombie knives, as if that's going to do anything. And then he says, I think it is stupidity, because he also goes on to say we need to remove the pointy tip from the knife. Remove the pointy tip from the knife? How woefully inadequate. How woefully inadequate of a response to rising crime rates. How could you think if we removed the pointy tip off a kitchen knife that's going to change anything? This police officer is bravely voicing calls for reform that could actually see significant change in black communities. PC Rick Pryor. The equal and fair application of the law across all ethnic minority groups. And what do? They sacked him. Free Speech Union is organising his fundraiser for his legal battle. It's bad enough that frontline police feel they can't express their concerns, but to sanction the elected representative in the very organisation that should be blowing the whistle on issues like police double standards sets a chilling precedent. Donate to this fundraiser. He needs your support. And don't see it as like, oh, I'm just donating, I'm just going to help out my body or pound. No. This is about setting the precedent for law enforcement to be applied equally and fairly across all ethnic groups. This is about securing that precedent. If you knew that there was a police officer that was hesitant to stop and search Aksa Rudakabana before he went to Southport, how would you feel? How would you feel if you knew there was a police officer that was hesitant to stop and search Aksa Rudakabana? Maybe he was on a terrorist watch list, we know that. What if the police actually got the call to pursue a suspect? And they were receiving the character description, suspect is a Welsh choir boy. And they looked around for a Welsh choir boy and couldn't find a Welsh choir boy, but instead saw a troubled black male, that's the character description, his hair looking a bit rough, with murder in his eyes. You would do you would do literally anything to support the man who is fighting this battle. The link will be in the description, so click on that link. Anything will do. Oh, and turn your post notifications on. Please. The Freethinker Cast is back. And this time, I'm not going anywhere. The devil tried it. Like, comment, and subscribe.